This is my son Henry. He's going to be doing a musical accompaniment. That's why he's holding a guitar. You're going to have to imagine this is a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, except shorter. I'm going to be reading a story called Steam and Starfish. Can people hear? Is this all right? Okay. Which was published in Beecher's out of University of Kansas in July. Steam and Starfish. Joey doesn't need to check the thermostat to know the temperature is 78 degrees in the office. He rocks on the heels of his work boots, picking at the burn scabs on the back of his arm, eager to get back to saving the town. We can't keep having these outages, the superintendent says, standing with sleeves rolled up at the window, facing the sleet outside. Not midwinter. He glances sideways. Also, the steam stinks worse than you do. He pivots to face Joey. No offense. None taken, sir. Joey's coveralls are stained with grime, an occupational hazard. The steam goes out 3 times a week, but what I hear about more is the stench, the superintendent says. How is it that water vapor can get so ripe? It's Joey's job to provide answers, as his father did before him. Considering the source, it's a wonder. Stop. The superintendent taps his ear. Plausible deniability, son. Joey examines the steel toes of his boot. Our little project better prove out, and soon. The superintendent waits for this to sink in, because if the steam stops, the town dies. Joey takes a moment to fantasize about moving south to a place where the land runs out and the ocean starts, down where it's hot in summer and warm in the winter. But steam has heated the town for over a century. Radiators, vents, and pipes moan like tortured souls through 3 seasons. Growing legions of the homeless congregate over ventilation grates. I'll look into it, sir. And our little project? It's full steam ahead, sir. Joey uses his father's hokey phrase, the geothermal solution is his baby by heritage. Excellent, the superintendent says. At this point, I owe the council a guaranteed estimate of completion, and you're going to give it to me. How? The superintendent taps his ear. Joey tries to relax the tension in his shoulders as he watched his father do in similar circumstances, but they refuse to unclench. I'll get right on that, sir. Joey turns to go, but he has the feeling he's forgotten something. Part of the time-honored formula. He stops, pivots. Don't worry, sir. It'll be okay. Joey dismounts from the pickup at the boiler, an enormous turnip-shaped metal chamber at the base of a smokestack, standing near the crest of the pit. His diminished olfactory sense is only partial defense against putrefaction and diesel fumes. A conga line of idling container trucks clogs the access road, each waiting its turn to dump its share of trash from the megalopolis 200 miles away. They burned big city garbage for 4 decades, but this trainload is sparse, the supply dwindling due to hard times. Joey approaches a scarecrow of a man dressed in insulated coveralls, a fringe of white hair leaking from a watch cap, face puckered as dried fruit. He stands on a little hillock surveying the operation. Harmon hasn't left the dump since after his wife died. The window of his little house in town remains blindfolded with sheets of plywood gone gray in the weather. What brings you up top? Harmon calls above the din. Super claims the juice stinks. He'd like that fixed. The two explode into laughter. Stinks, huh? Harmon lifts his beak skyward and sniffs the air. Did you refresh His Majesty's recollection on the origins of his precious steam? I tried. Joey shrugs. His shoulders are looser here. Well, odoriferous vapors won't trouble him much longer. Harmon surveys the moonscape landfill where crows pinwheel and squawk, complaining of the lack of sustenance, nothing left edible or combustible. Now when your little project comes up a winner, your little project, Joey squints into the freezing wind. He wants a guaranteed estimate of completion. Tell the bastard 2 weeks, Harmon says. What's he going to do, fire us? Harmon laughs again. Backup packs him on a massive dumper, stirs the kettle of crows. The truck bed inclines, slumping the dregs of the organic material dredged from the pit toward its back gate. A coffin lid knifes through the clods, then a mummified dog chew of a human leg. The load poised to spill on the jointed conveyor plates. The tilt bed judders to a stop. The driver climbs down from the cab. Joey and Harmon watch him labor over the uneven ground as he scampers up the hillock. You want to pull that out? He nods at the leg and what might be attached as his jaw works an unlit cigar butt. They regard the load, frozen above the creaking conveyor. Trucks idle, belching smoke from their stacks. Crows wheel. The pioneer cemetery below the garbage dump is long forgotten by those in the town, as is the origins of their heat. The bodies have mummified in the ancient bog, and they burn well. Nah, Harmon says, can't afford to be picky. Goodbye me, the driver says. Clods tumble onto the belt and are conveyed through an aperture the size of a 3-car garage into a wall of flames inside the boiler, heat basting man and bird. The door descends, wind howling colder than ever. A muddy brown pillar of smoke vomits from the stack 5 stories above. I think maybe that's why the juice smells? Harmon's hollow laughter is terminated by convulsive coughs. He hawks up a red loogie and launches it toward the pit. The crows watch, but know not to chase. Best get on that estimate. Joey purses his lips. For 20 years, he's been the new kid. Now it's down to him. A tap of the gas angles the truck into the whorl of road etched into the pit wall. He knows that from an aerial view, the pit must look like a giant nautilus. He passes the broken wagon wheel, marking the strata of the modern dump. Bands of ash indicate that the geologic stew-pot beneath is prone to boiling over. The truck hugs the wall under bubbles of light suspended in liquid darkness. Sighs from gas vents create the sensation of being sucked into a maelstrom, and faint tremblers shake loose ribbons of soil down the side of the crater and the edges of his headlights. The road flattens and obsidian darkness envelops the truck. He's reached bottom. Joey shoulders the breathing apparatus and walks to where the drilling rig throbs, excavating a vertical bunghole into the metal of the earth. Heat gauges remain solid in the red. Down here, dwarfed by equipment and geology, it's hard to believe any life exists in the universe. His father's faded blueprints remain in the tube behind the front seat of the truck, but detailed copies are engraved in Joey's brain. He wonders if Dad's self-taught engineering is up to the task. It isn't easy to stay true to a plan originally denounced as insane when the only thing that has changed is the necessity of the outcome. Joey approaches the hole and the usual memory surfaces, a relic from a seaside vacation far to the south in years past. Sandcastles and swimming were fine, but Joey preferred to walk the beach with his head down, scouring the sand for treasure. One morning he found an empty shell the size of his fist and ran thrilled back to his father, who knew all about nature. Nice moon snail, Dad said. Back then he had plenty of black hair on his head and chest long before he started coughing up blood. This guy used to crawl along the bottom, eating slime. He could pull inside his shell and seal the front door, the operculum, which looked something like a big old brown thumbnail. It fit right here. His finger traced the porcelain mouth of the shell, a miraculous fortress that seemed impregnable. What killed it? Might have been a starfish, Dad said. He grabbed his arms around this guy and fastened on with thousands of little arm suckers, then pull until a tiny crack opened up in that front door. Then he'd extend his own stomach into the moon snail, digesting him in his own home. Suck him out just like a milkshake. Ew, Joey said, horrified. No fair. Yep, Dad said, nature doesn't have a lot to do with fair. Joey keeps the moon snail shell with other valuables in a cigar box on his desk. Nowadays, he likes to think of himself as one of the thousands of little suckers on the arm of a starfish, doing what he has to do. Like when Dad died in Joey's senior year of high school, and he went to work for the steam company instead of going to college. Tell me again what happens when we hit bottom, Joey says through the regulator. Or maybe he just thinks it. Don't worry, it'll be okay. It happens sometimes that he hears Dad in the darkness of the pit, a hallucination jarred loose by earthquakes or a poisonous gas or fear, or maybe it's a ghost. Joey doesn't much care. How do you know it'll be okay? Dad turns a spectral eye, possessed of that rarest of fuels, confidence, because it has to. The assertion fits snug, but it's made of weaker material, like an operculum. Joey coughs into his regulator and tastes the salty copper of blood. He wonders whether something will erupt out of the hole and engulf them all. And, when it does, what the steam will smell like. In his head, he begins to calculate the guaranteed estimate of completion.